Welcome to this episode of Radio Waves, a podcast about shortwave radio. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the basics of shortwave radio, its history, and its importance in today's world. Shortwave radio is a type of radio that uses high-frequency waves to transmit signals over long distances. These waves are capable of bouncing off the ionosphere and traveling around the world, making it possible to communicate with people in distant places. The history of shortwave radio dates back to the early 20th century, when radio technology was still in its infancy. At that time, radio was primarily used for point-to-point communication, such as ship-to-shore communication and military communication. In the 1920s and 1930s, shortwave radio technology improved, and radio broadcasters began using it to reach a global audience. Shortwave radio broadcasts became popular during World War II as a means of propaganda, and after the war, they continue to be used for international broadcasting. Today, shortwave radio continues to play an important role in global communication. It is used for broadcasting news, music, and cultural programming to remote areas where other forms of media are not available. Shortwave radio is also used for emergency communication, such as during natural disasters or in areas with poor infrastructure. One of the benefits of shortwave radio is that it is relatively cheap and easy to use. Unlike other forms of communication, such as satellite or internet communication, shortwave radio does not require expensive equipment or infrastructure. All you need is a shortwave radio receiver and an antenna to pick up signals. However, there are some downsides to shortwave radio. One of the biggest challenges is interference from other sources, such as other radio signals or electrical noise. Additionally, shortwave radio signals can be affected by atmospheric conditions, which can cause them to weaken or fade out. Despite these challenges, shortwave radio remains an important part of global communication. Whether you're interested in news, music, or cultural programming, shortwave radio is a great way to stay connected to the world. That's all for today's episode of Radio Waves. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.